13 real stories scarier than horror movies. Prepare yourself for a journey into the unknown. These 13 real-life stories are more chilling than any horror movie you've ever seen. So brace yourselves, dear viewers, as we embark on this spine-tingling exploration of the truly terrifying. Deep in rural Brazil, Jane Ferreira found her 17-month-old son, Lorenzo, near a deadly fer-de-lance viper.
Panic surged through me as I scooped up my son and rushed him to the nearest hospital.
Doctors examined Lorenzo, expecting the worst. Yet, to their astonishment, they found no bite marks, no trace of venom in his system. The boy was completely unharmed. It was as if he had been protected by some unseen force. Then the truth dawned on them. Lorenzo hadn't been attacked by the snake, he had attacked it. Riverwood Primary School became the scene of an unsettling mystery. Children played in the schoolyard when they stumbled upon a pool of what appeared to be blood in their playhouse.
Panic spread through the schoolyard like wildfire. Teachers rushed to the scene, their faces etched with concern and disbelief.
The amount of blood was staggering. Nearly 1.5 liters. DNA tests were conducted, but the results only deepened the mystery. The source of the blood remains an enigma to this day. In Bulgaria, the phone number 0888-888 became shrouded in fear. Vladimir Grashnov, the former CEO of Mobitel, died suddenly at 48. The number was then reassigned to Konstantin Dimitrov, a notorious drug lord who was gunned down. The number passed to Konstantin Dishlev, a businessman involved in drug trafficking. Dishlev was shot dead outside an Indian restaurant in Sofia. 3 deaths, all linked to the same phone number. The number was eventually suspended, its eerie legacy sealed. The curse of 0888-800 and 88888 remains a chilling mystery. George Boyer harbored an unusual longing to be an amputee. At 68, he shot himself in the leg to fulfill his dream. George Boyer doctors were shocked by my self-inflicted injury. They informed me that they could save my leg, but I was undeterred. I begged them to amputate, pleading with them to complete my transformation. George's story is a chilling testament to the dark side of desire. His obsession consumed him, leading to a tragic end. In 1885, a man received a letter from his brother, dead for over a decade. The handwriting was unmistakable. It was his brother's. The letter spoke of mental illness and a desperate longing to escape confinement. Driven by hope and dread, the man gathered a group and headed to the cemetery. As they exhumed his brother's coffin, a sense of unease settled upon them. When they pried it open, they were met with an even greater shock. The coffin was empty. The mystery of the letter remains unsolved. Edgar Allan Poe's novel, The Narrative of Arthur Gordon Pym of Nantucket, eerily mirrored real-life events. In 1884, the shipwreck of the Mignonette led to cannibalism for survival. Among the survivors was a young cabin boy named Richard Parker. The crew sacrificed Parker, his flesh and blood their only sustenance. The parallels between Poe's fictional account and the tragic fate of Richard Parker are too chilling to ignore. Fiction and reality blurred in a macabre twist of fate. Edward Mordrake, born with a second face on the back of his head, lived a life of torment. This rare condition, known as diprosopus, made him a subject of both curiosity and horror in the 19th century. Edward Mordrake, this parasitic twin, grotesque and contorted, was a source of both fascination and revulsion. The second face, though unable to speak or eat, seemed to have a life of its own, with eyes that moved and lips that appeared to mutter. Edward described the face as demonic, claiming it whispered evil things to him at night. These whispers, he said, were incessant, driving him to the edge of sanity. Desperate to rid himself of the torment, Edward pleaded with doctors to remove the second face, but they refused. The medical community of the time was baffled and fearful, unsure of the consequences of such a surgery. Edward Mordrake. Driven to the brink, I took my own life at 23. His final days were filled with despair as he saw no escape from the torment that plagued him. Edward's tragic story remains a haunting reminder of the mysteries of the human body. His life and death continue to intrigue and sadden those who hear his tale, a poignant example of the suffering caused by medical anomalies. Timur, the ruthless Mongol conqueror, was said to unleash a curse if his tomb was disturbed. In 1941, Soviet archaeologists defied the warning and unearthed Timur's skull. The following day, Hitler launched Operation Barbarossa, the largest military invasion in history. The coincidence was too eerie to ignore. The curse of Timur's tomb remains a chilling legend. History and superstition intertwined in a tale of war and mystery. The SS Orang Medan's distress calls in 1948 sent shivers down the spines of radio operators. The first message, all officers, including captain, dead, lying in chart room and bridge, possibly whole crew dead. Then silence. Moments later, another message, I die. Rescue vessels found the ship littered with the bodies of the crew, their faces frozen in terror. There were no signs of injury, no apparent cause of death. The Orang Medan remains a maritime mystery, its secrets lost to the depths of the ocean. In 1997, Rita Swift discovered a roll of undeveloped film at a flea market. Rita Swift. The developed photos revealed a family gathering from 1969, but 3 photos were out of place, showing people dressed in clothing from the 1800s. Experts were baffled. The photos were authentic, their age verified. How could these images, seemingly captured over a century apart, exist on the same roll of film? The mystery of the time-traveling photographs remains unsolved, a curious enigma that blurs the lines between past and present. A Japanese man, plagued by strange occurrences, set up a surveillance camera in his home. He had been hearing strange noises at night, whispers and footsteps that seemed to come from nowhere. Determined to uncover the source, he meticulously placed cameras in every corner of his house. To his shock, the footage revealed a woman emerging from his kitchen cupboard every night, helping herself to his food. The man was horrified and bewildered. How long had this been going on? Who was this mysterious intruder? Who was this woman, and how had she been entering and exiting his home undetected? He searched every nook and cranny, trying to find any clues that could explain her presence. The more he looked, the more questions he had. As he delved deeper into the mystery, he made a chilling discovery. Behind a hidden door, he found a secret passage that led to a concealed room. The realization sent shivers down his spine. The woman had been living in his walls, her presence a secret hidden within the very structure of his home. She had created a hidden space, a small room where she could live undetected. The unsettling reality of being watched in his own home left him in fear. Every creak and groan of the house now felt like a threat. He couldn't shake the feeling of being constantly observed, his sanctuary violated by an unseen presence. In 17th century France, a prisoner was kept in the Bastille fortress, his face hidden behind an iron mask. The most striking detail of his confinement was the mask, concealing his entire face. Theories abound about his identity, from a disgraced nobleman to a political rival of the king. Some whisper that he was a close relative of Louis XIV himself. The mystery of the man in the iron mask remains unsolved, a tale that has captivated historians and storytellers for centuries. Abraham Lincoln, burdened by premonitions of his own demise, confided in close friends about a recurring dream. This dream was not just any dream, but one that haunted him deeply, leaving him with an unsettling feeling that he could not shake off. In this dream, he found himself wandering the halls of the White House, drawn to the mournful sobs of mourners. The hallways were dimly lit, casting long shadows that seemed to whisper secrets of sorrow and loss. He entered the East Room to find a casket lying in state, surrounded by a military honor guard. The room was filled with an air of solemnity, the silence only broken by the soft footsteps of the guards. When he inquired about the identity of the deceased, a soldier responded, "The President." The words echoed in his mind, heavy with the weight of impending doom. He was killed by an assassin. The image of the assassin, lurking in the shadows, added a layer of dread to the already ominous dream. On April 14, 1865, Lincoln was shot and killed by John Wilkes Booth. The tragic event unfolded at Ford's Theatre, forever etching the date into the annals of history. The dream that foretold his death remains a chilling premonition. It serves as a haunting reminder of the fragility of life and the eerie power of our subconscious fears. As we emerge from these real-life horror stories, we are left with a lingering sense of unease. These stories remind us that sometimes truth is far stranger and far more terrifying than anything we could ever imagine. So the next time you seek a thrill, remember these tales. The world is a vast and mysterious place, and sometimes the most frightening monsters are not the ones we create in our minds, but the ones that exist just beyond the veil of our understanding.